That's what you need to do. Every time the Broncos seem like they got it going, the ball bounced the other way.
Those turnover Thursday is what they practice. Turnover Thursday.
And the play fake to Marshawn Lynch after the turnover. What a throw. Russell Wilson to Lockett, 19-yard gain. Next play on the Broncos 23. It's time for Wilson to go find himself some curse on 1st and 10. 23 yards.
And this kid is one of those kids undrafted that you heard Richard Sherman talk about. Nobody wanted him. Pete Carroll takes him in, and look what happens. And it doesn't matter who Russell Wilson is throwing the football to. They all put their bodies on the line, they make those catches. And the run after the catch is always special for them.
And it's 36-0. And you know what's a factor of 36? 12. There's 12s everywhere. 36-0 when finally the Broncos get on the board with no time left in the third quarter to make it 36-7.
All right, Pastor Mark here with the members of the greatest football team on the earth, the Seattle Seahawks, and very, very glad to let you guys share a little bit about your background, your story, your history, what Jesus has done in your life. Quick answers. I'll give you guys a couple questions and just give me quick answers. Let's start with Russell. Who's Jesus?
Who is Jesus? Jesus is everything. And the great thing about Jesus is he'll meet you right where you're at. You know, and it's free. You don't have to earn it. You don't have to work for it. He gives it to us because he loves us and he's full of grace.
He's the Alpha, he's the Omega. He's the beginning and end of everything. And, you know, in my life, you know, to understand where we've reached, you know, which is, quote unquote, in the world's view, the pinnacle, you really see how empty that is. And having Jesus in my life, you know, you really see how important that is because you see that he is everything. I mean, to take Jesus, who is perfect, and to be so humble as to come to earth as a mere man, and to live the life that he lived, despite knowing my sin, to go on the cross and to die for my sin and our sin and everyone's sin, to me, I mean, that's everything. You know, that's joy, that's peace, that's love. To think that him and his perfection would do that despite knowing the depths of who I am.
Jesus is love. You know, at the end of the day, we're all looking for somebody to comfort us, for somebody to be there for us at all times, for somebody when we're in the worst times of our lives, when we're battling with something, with struggles, whatever it may be. You know, when we're at our highest point too, as well. When things are going really well, we want somebody to comfort us and be there for us and say, "Great, you know, well done." You know, and that's Jesus. Jesus has always been there. He'll never leave you, never forsake you.
Literally, Jesus is the greatest treasure in the universe, and it just makes sense. It's not like you give up your life and then you get something worse. You know, it's like Jesus is. For all of us,
you give the worst and get the best.
That's no question. You know, he gave us everything. We had nothing. He gave us everything. So literally, it's just 1 + 1 = 2. It's just that simple. You know, Jesus is better than anything that we could ever, even better than a Super Bowl, better than an NFL career.
Is the NFL coach supposed to say that? That anything is better than the Super Bowl?
Don't Jesus, yeah. you know, I don't know if this
edit that out.
You know, I think some of us here, all of us here would like to say, you know, who knows what's going to happen. But if we ever to win the Super Bowl, to be able to tell everyone that, no, Jesus is still better. Because as much as we worship this thing called a ring and championship, although we like to have one for sure, I just can't wait to tell people. If that happens, God willing, we'll be able to tell people, yeah, Jesus is way better still. Because you're going to wake up the next day, things are going to be the same if you don't have Jesus. If you have Jesus, it's still going to be awesome, win or lose. So.
36-8 as Demaryius Thomas sets the records for most receptions in a Super Bowl. But Doug Baldwin, your X factor from the NFC Championship game, Marshall.
I love this kid, man.
Made it a 40-burger in Super Bowl 48.
Everything that they do with Percy Harvin, this kid can do it. Every time Percy's out, he steps in, whether it's in a return game or receiver, and delivers for the Seahawks.
And Richard Sherman finished the game on crutches. Pete Carroll is a Super Bowl winning head coach, getting a hug from Russell Wilson, who he drafted in the 3rd round just 2 years ago. And that man has still one Super Bowl ring, while Malcolm Smith has a Super Bowl MVP and a trophy to boot.
All right, Pastor Mark here with the members of the greatest football team on the earth, the Seattle Seahawks, and very, very glad to let you guys share a little bit about your background, your story, your history, what Jesus has done in your life. Russell, thanks for joining us. And man, what a great opportunity God's given you to do what you love and to do it well, to do it with a fan base that is glad to have you. So on behalf of the fan base, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. And so maybe a little bit about your story. I'm sure people are familiar with your performance. How about your upbringing and some of your family and history? And whatever you want to share is fine. We'd love to hear it.
Well, I'm Russell Wilson. I was born in Richmond, Virginia. Actually, I was born in Cincinnati, Ohio, but I lived in Richmond my whole life, ever since like 1 or 2. I got saved, though, when I was about 14 years old, and that's when my life started changing. I used to be a bad kid, shockingly.
What kind of bad kid? Like long snapper bad kid, or how bad?
Like Gresh. I used to be terrible. No, I'm kidding. No, I just used to beat up people. I used to bite people. I used to do just stupid stuff. Yeah, I used to do that.
Man, it sounds like a D lineman.
Yeah. But I think that So that's kind of when my life started changing.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be where I am today without Jesus. Jesus is my all. He's my everything. I'm not perfect by any means. I try to do the things the right way. I try to live righteous. But I'm a constant work in progress, and we all are. And nobody's perfect. And that's the amazing thing about Jesus is he takes you for who you are. And so for me it's just giving him all the glory.
How important is it for you to have someone bigger than you, somebody to look up to, somebody to worship, somebody to live for, somebody to not make it all about Russell?
Well, we talk about playing for an audience of one. The audience of one truly is, playing for the Lord, playing for Jesus Christ. And, every time I step out, people always ask me, Russell, do you ever get nervous for games, or do you ever worry or anything like that? No, not at all. When I step out in the field, God's put me on that field for a reason, in front of 80,000 people for a reason. And I truly believe that through my play, hopefully, that I can change people's lives.
Yeah. And I would say this too, you've done a good job, man. I mean, the mood in the city is, here's a man who works hard, he cares deeply, he produces results. There's a lot of boys waking up tomorrow putting on a Russell Wilson jersey going to school, Anything you'd tell those boys that look up to you and put your jersey on and are rooting for you?
Well, I think for me, everybody's parents are different. Everybody comes up in a different lifestyle. For me, I was blessed enough to have parents that believed in the Lord, and I was blessed enough to have parents that worked extremely hard and were always motivating. But if you don't have those people in your life too, it doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter if you're 8 years old, 5 years old, 15 years old, or 25 years old, or 45 years old. Jesus is still real. Jesus is still alive. And so I just pray that those kids live with an open heart, try to learn as much as they can about the Lord, and try to find somebody to look up to. And the person I look up to ultimately is Jesus Christ. That's why I am where I am today.